Hello friends, today we are going to see our new lesson of 10th standard 1.5 His First Flight, written by Liam O. Flaherty. This is the story of a young seagull who was afraid of flying in the sky. His parents encouraged him but in vain. At the end, his hunger compelled him to take his first flight. या पाठामध्ये एक छोटा समुद्र पक्षी ज्याचा स्वतःच्या कर्तृत्वावर विश्वास नसल्यामुळे प्रथम उड्डाण करण्यासाठी अति घाबरतोय. त्याचे आई वडील, भाऊ बहीण त्याला प्रोत्साहन देतात, मात्र ते सर्व व्यर्थ ठरते. शेवटी त्याची भूक एवढी तीव्र झाली की त्याने उड्डाण घेतले आणि ते त्याच्या आयुष्यातील पहिले उड्डाण होते. तर या पाठाचे नाव आहे हिज फर्स्ट फ्लाइट. सो आर यू रेडी? लेट्स स्टार्ट द लेसन. The young seagull was alone on his ledge. Ledge means a cliff. लांब अरुंद असा कडा. The young seagull was alone. He was standing on a cliff. His two brothers and his sister had already flown away the day before. His sister and brothers had already flown the day before. He had been afraid to fly with them. The young seagull was very afraid to fly, so he could not go with them. Somehow, when he had taken a little run forward to the brink of the ledge and attempted to flap his wings, he became afraid. Here is a new word, brink. Brink means the edge of a steep place. उभ्या कड्याचा काठ. So, young seagull had attempted to fly. He had also taken run, but he became afraid. The great expanse of sea stretched down beneath, and it was such a long way down, miles down. It was the great sea. It was a long way, miles down beneath. He felt certain that his wings would never support him, so he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. The young seagull thought that his wings were weak, not too strong to fly. So he returned back, but bending his head down under the ledge at his sleeping place where he slept at night. Even when each of his brothers and his little sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped their wings, and flew away, he failed to muster up courage to take that plunge which appeared to him so desperate. Our young seagull thought his wings were weak, so the wings of his brothers and sisters were also shorter than his own wings, but they had run to the brink and flapped their wings and flew away. But young seagull had failed to gather courage and jump to fly. He lost his hope to fly. His father and mother had come around, calling to him shrilly, upbraiding him, threatening to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. His parents were scolding and calling in a harsh voice. They threatened him about starving. But for the life of him, he could not move. But the young seagull could not move because of the fear of death. He wanted to live more. या ठिकाणी जो आपला यंग सीगल आहे, एक छोटा समुद्र पक्षी, त्याला त्याच्या भावंडांबरोबर समुद्रावर उडण्यासाठी जायची तयारी आहे, परंतु स्वतःमध्ये आत्मविश्वास नसल्यामुळे, स्वतःचे पंख आपल्याला योग्य अशी साथ देणार नाही ही त्याची भावना असल्यामुळं तो धैर्य एकवटून उडू शकत नाही, उडण्यासाठी तो तयार होत नाही. नेक्स्ट पॅरेग्राफ. That was 24 hours ago. All these things happened 24 hours ago. Since then, nobody had come near him. Nobody, means his brothers and sisters, had come to meet him. The day before, all day long, he had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sisters, perfecting them in the art of flight, teaching them how to skim the waves and how to dive for fish. So, on a previous day, he had seen his siblings, his brothers and sisters, learning from parents how to fly, how to skim, how to dive. Here is a new word, skim. Skim means move lightly just above on surface, here on the sea. He had in fact seen his older brother catch his first herring and devour it standing on a rock, while his parents circled around raising a proud cackle. He had also seen his elder brother eating fish hungrily, while his parents giving proudly shrill cry to his brother. And his family also enjoyed it. Here is a new word, herring. Herring means a soft-finned sea fish, samudri masa. And devour means eat up hungrily, भक्ष्य करणे. Cackle means utter a shrill cry, कर्कश आवाज करणे. And all the morning the whole family had walked about on the big plateau, midway down the opposite cliff, taunting him for his cowardice. His family had walked on plateau and also teasing him as coward. His brothers, sister, his parents called him coward. Cowardice means lack of courage to face danger. Bhitra. And cliff means a high steep face of rock. खडकाचा उंच असा कडा. 24 तासापूर्वी त्याचे सर्व भावंडे त्याच्यापासून दूर निघून गेले आणि ते तिकडे उंच उडत होते, मासे खात होते, आणि हा मात्र एकटाच या ठिकाणी भित्रेपणामुळं थांबून राहिलेला होता. The sun was now ascending the sky, blazing on his ledge that faced the south. The sun was hot. The sun was climbing up, and the ledge was also shining. Blazing means shine, चकाकणे. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall. The young seagull was very hungry. He felt the heat because of his hunger, the heat of the sun. He stepped slowly out to the brink of the ledge, and standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wing, he closed one eye, then the other, and pretended to be falling asleep. Slowly, the young seagull, came to the edge of a cliff, standing on one leg and closing one eye and pretending to be asleep. But no one looked at him. Still, they took no notice of him. No one looked at our young seagull. He saw his two brothers and sister lying on the plateau, dozing with their heads sunk into their necks. The young seagull saw that his two brothers and sister slept lightly, sucking their heads into their neck. His father was preening the feathers on his white back, and young seagull's father was cleaning his feathers. Here is a new word, preening. Preening means making an effort to clean the feathers with the beak. चोचीने पंख साफ करणे. Only his mother was looking at him, but his mother was looking at young seagull. Only mother looked at him. She was standing on a little high hump on the plateau, her white breast thrust forward. Here is a new word, hump. Hump means a round raised mass on land. She was standing proudly on the tableland, and she looked at young seagull. Now and again she tore at a piece of a fish that lay at her feet, and then scraped each side of her beak on the rock. Here scraped means rubbed. So his mother again tore a fish and rubbed her beak on a rock. The sight of the food maddened him. The young seagull was very hungry. So hungry seagull became mad to see that fish, to see that food. How he loved to tear food that way, scraping his beak now and again to whet it. Whet means sharpen. The young seagull also wanted to tear the fish that way. He also sharpened his beak. 24 तासापूर्वी त्याचे सर्व भावंडे त्याच्यापासून दूर निघून गेले आणि ते तिकडे उंच उडत होते, मासे खात होते, आणि हा मात्र एकटाच या ठिकाणी भित्रेपणामुळं थांबून राहिलेला होता. गा गा गा, he cried, begging her to bring him some food. He requested to his mother for food by crying ga ga ga. Ga called ah. She screamed back derisively. His mother also screamed back in a manner showing someone that he is stupid. Here is a new word, derisively means in a manner showing someone that he is stupid. थट्टेने, उपहासाने. But he kept calling plaintively, and after a minute or so he uttered a joyful scream. And he kept requesting her, and after a minute he screamed joyfully. Plaintively means expressing sorrow. केविलवाने. His mother had picked up a piece of the fish and was flying across to him with it. He saw his mother was flying towards him with a piece of a fish, so he became very happy. He leaned out eagerly, tapping the rock with his feet, trying to get nearer to her as she flew across. The young seagull became very happy. He bent out eagerly because he was very hungry. He was trying to come near to his mother for eating that fish. But when she was just opposite to him, she halted, her wings motionless, the piece of a fish in her beak almost within reach of his beak. But when she was coming closer to him, she stopped. Without moving her wing, the fish in her beak was too close to him. But he was surprised. His mother did not come too near him. He waited a moment in surprise, wondering why she did not come nearer. And then, maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish. Young Seagull was waiting, and he was surprised about the behavior of his mother. He was mad because of hunger, and due to that hunger, he dived at the fish. With a loud scream, he fell outward and downwards into space. When he dived into space with a loud scream, he went outward and downward, means up and down. Then a monstrous terror seized him. With his heart stood still, and then the terror shocked him. He could not understand what happened at that time. He couldn't hear anything. Here is a new word, monstrous. Monstrous means shocking, dhakkadayak. He could hear nothing. The young seagull couldn't hear anything. But it only lasted a minute. But this thing lasted only for few seconds or a minute. The next moment he felt his wings spread outwards. His wings spread outwards. The wind rushed against his breast feathers and then under his stomach and against his wings. The wind was rushing against his body, and he was also started to fly a little bit. He could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air, and he felt that the air cutting the tips of his wings. He was not falling headlong now, but the young seagull was in the air now. He was not falling down. He was soaring gradually downwards and outwards. Here is soaring. Soaring means fly high in the air. So, young seagull was floating in the air. He was no longer afraid. Now, the young seagull was floating. He was not afraid. His fear was gone away. Only he failed to lose his balance. He just felt a bit dizzy. Dizzy means having an uncomfortable feeling. भोवळ किंवा चक्कर येणे. The young seagull failed to lose his balance. Then he flapped his wing once and he soared upward. So he flapped his wings and soared upwards. Ga ga ga, ga ga, gakal ah. His mother swooped past him, her wings making a loud noise. And his mother became very happy. His mother dived towards him, making her feathers noise, and mother was flying around him. He answered her with another scream. Now young seagull also responded his mother by screaming. Then his father flew over him screaming. His father also came there. He also flew around the young seagull. He saw his two brothers and his sister flying around him, curveting and banking and soaring and diving. He saw that his brothers, his sister also came there, flying around him. They were leaping, diving, flying happily. Here, new words. Banking means flying with one wing higher than the other. वळताने एक बाजू वर करून जाणे. Shrieking means making a loud cry, scream, किंचाळणे. And curveting means leaping like a horse, वळणदार झेपावणे. भुकेने व्याकुळ झाल्यानंतर त्याची आई त्याच्यासाठी चोचीमध्ये मासा घेऊन आली, परंतु आई मात्र फार जवळ आली नाही. अगदी तो पोहोचेल एवढ्या अंतरावर आली आणि मग तीव्र भुकेने व्याकुळ झालेला समुद्री पक्षीने झेप घेतली आणि आई दूर निघून गेली. आणि झेप घेतल्यामुळे आपोआप त्याचे पंख पसरले आणि हळूहळू त्याच्या उडण्याच्या क्रिया सुरू झाल्या. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly and commended himself to dive and soar and curve, shrinking shrilly. The young seagull completely forgot about his fear of flying and he made loud cry while soaring, diving, curving. Here shrinking means making a loud cry, किंचाळणे. He was near the sea now, flying straight over it, facing straight out over the ocean. Now the young seagull was flying over the ocean. He was flying there. He saw a vast green sea beneath him with little ridges moving over it, and he turned his beak sideways and cawed amusedly. The young seagull saw waves on a vast green sea. The waves like a hill ranges. Ridges means ridge means a chain of hills. लहरी पाण्यावरील लहरी. And amused means pleasurably, आनंदाने. So he turned his beak sideways and cawed amusedly. Means young seagull turned his beak sideways, cried happily. आणि हा समुद्री पक्षी आता उडतोय, झेपावतोय. हे बघून त्याची भावंड सुद्धा अतिशय आनंदित झाले. त्याचे आई, वडील, भावंडे सर्व त्याच्या भोवती उडतायत आणि आनंदाने त्याचे निरीक्षण करून बघतायत. His parents and his brothers and sister had landed on this green flooring ahead of him. The young seagull's parents, brothers, sister happily sat on the green flooring and they were in front of him. They were beckoning to him, calling shrilly. The brothers, sister were calling him loudly and made gestures. Beckoning means to give a signal. खून करणे, खुणावणे. He dropped his legs to stand on the green sea. So now he tried to stand on the water, on the sea. His legs sank into it. But what happened? His legs started to sink in the water. He screamed with fright and attempted to rise again, flapping his wings. He cried loudly with fright. He frightened and tried to rise again, flapping his wings. But he was tired and weak with hunger, and he could not rise. Exhausted by a strange exercise. Exhausted means here wear out, थकवा येणे. The young seagull was tired now because he was hungry and exercise, so he couldn't rise. His feet sank into the green sea, and then his belly touched it, and he sank no farther. His feet down into the water, and his belly also touched the water, but he didn't sink. He was floating on it, and around him his family was screaming, praising him, and their beaks were offering him scraps of dogfish. The young seagull was now floating on the water. His family was very happy to see him. They were screaming, praising, and offering him a piece of fish. And thus he had made his first flight. And the young seagull made his first flight in his life. It was the first flight. So we learn here that try and try, but don't cry. Or we can say there is always silver lining behind the darkness. शेवटी या ठिकाणी आपण एकच बघू की हा यंग सीगल जो सुरुवातीला उडण्यासाठी अत्यंत घाबरत होता, स्वतःच्या पंखावर त्याचा विश्वास नव्हता. म्हणजे आपल्यामधील सुप्त गुण जर आपण ओळखले नाही तर आपण यशस्वी होऊ शकत नाही, हा बोध आपण या ठिकाणी घेतला. शेवटी भुकेने व्याकुळ झालेला तो छोटासा सीगल समुद्र पक्षी त्या अन्नासाठी झेपावतो, आणि झेपावल्यानंतर तो उडण्यासाठी शिकतोय आणि पाण्यावर तरंगण्याचेही शिकतोय, आणि ही त्याच्या जीवनातील ही पहिलं उड्डाण होतं. सो आय होप यू will like this story. So it's very interesting story and you will also like it very much. If you like this story, please like this video, and if you like this video, please subscribe my channel for upcoming videos and updates. Thank you. From English Study with Sopan Hon.